Okay, now that we have our blades bent, like I said, they're not exactly the same, but it doesn't really matter. You only need 4 good contact points. You can bend them if you want to really take your time and practice bending on the angles. Grab a piece of it and just bend and see what it does. Just watch the reaction of the metal. That way you know what you're doing. So if you say, hey, this corner needs a different angle bend, you know where to go from there. Remember, it is a Barbie world, so we will not be removing the paint off of this bat. And I'm not going to cover up the Barbie logo. That one I think is going to go there. Now, if you did want to remove the paint, now's your step. You can either use paint thinner and a Scotch-Brite pad. Sandpaper will probably work. Wire wheel on a pedestal grinder or an angle grinder if you have a flap disc. You know, there's a million ways to get the paint off, basically, is my bottom line. But, like I said, I think it's going to add to the flavor to have the pink bat say Barbie on it. This is where you make your holes. You're going to grab your Sharpie. And make sure it's lined up where you want it. See, it looks about straight-ish. I'm going to actually move it up closer to the words. I think that's going to do it. Then you look down into the holes. There. And find out which one's your best contact points. We're going to make 4 dots. You're going to note that I have already a couple dents in this guy. There's one here, there's one here. They were not hitting baseballs with this thing, whoever had it before me. I found that at Goodwill for $1. So, shop where you get the deals. That's how you mark the holes. We'll move on to drilling next. Okay, with our holes marked, we are going to begin to drill. Now before you drill, you got to figure out how you're going to attach these things. I'm going to use pop rivets because I find it's very secure, very easy, very fast. I have done this before with saw blades, and I've bolted those on instead of pop rivets just because they're a little bit heavier. I want it a little bit more sturdy. If you want to do that, you have to drill and tap the bat, even though it's aluminum. And it wouldn't hurt to drill and tap this. I've selected these pop rivets. They go into that hole, but not out the other side. There's going to be enough poking through to grab on. And I've selected my drill bit accordingly. It fits in that hole. Yeah. And that's all you need. You don't want it to be bigger than that hole, because then the popper of it might not fit. A little bit smaller, you don't really want to drill through this too, because this is steel and it's going to be aluminum. It's going to be really soft, really easy. That being said, I'm probably just going to drill it here on my extra work table instead of the drill press, which can be easy, but it's easy to break your drill bits too. Or you can clamp this in your bench vise and then drill down on it. We're going to try to drill one without all that fancy stuff. You want to get your oil. I put a couple drops down. Start slow. See, because I'm not using a drill press, it's wandering on me. It's walking all over the place. You can see that. Watch. You see that shiny? That is a lot further away than the black that I want. So we're moving to the drill press. Okay, I've set up my drill press with the proper side drill bit. I'm not going to clamp down the bat. Instead, I'm just going to hold it under my arm. The drill bit won't catch into the aluminum bat and twist. Lower my table a little bit. I have done this with the power drill before, but it's the first time I'm doing it on camera. I got the bat kind of tucked under my arm and holding it with my hand, as you can see. I'm going to make sure that's about pretty much where I want it to be. If you have a punch, you can put a little dimple in the aluminum so the drill bit won't wander. This bit's too small to have my self-centering bits, so alright, here we go. As you're drilling down into the bat, you want to ease up off the drill. So you drill, go up just a little. Drill, go up just a little. Too many times I see people just force the bit down and you get dull bits. You ruin your machines. Even though it's aluminum, it's very soft steel. It's still easy to break stuff. People always complain that the machines don't do the jobs. I have cheap machines and they work more than adequate. Ease up. Ease up. Ease up. Go through. if you start making a lot of these, I would suggest buying an additional baseball bat. Not to make with, not to craft with, but to practice on. They're all made of roughly the same type of aluminum, the same thickness. And you want to get good. Alright, I want to drill the other 4 holes and see where we end up. Always make sure you wear eye and hearing protection. Trust me, the middle splinter in the eye is going to ruin your day. Next, we're going to attach it. Alright, now we're going to attach the skates onto our baseball bat. If you are planning on sharpening the skates, because as I mentioned before, they're completely flat. Completely. I don't ice skate, and I imagine they have to sharpen them to skate on. But that is, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're new. I don't know. I'm rambling on here. Now is the time to sharpen them if you're going to sharpen them. I am not going to sharpen mine because I don't want an axe. I want a club. 2 different things. Now what you're going to do is you're going to line up a couple of these holes. Don't worry if they're not perfectly lined up. Perfectly lined up holes are great, but how can I put this? This will still hold if they're a little off. In fact, it might hold a little bit better because they're going to be held on there a little cockeyed. So we're going to put 1 rivet in. We're going to grab our neat rivet tool. Now before you pop this all the way on, give it a couple squeezes and let it out. Yeah, it's going to fall out. That in there. But make sure the other ones fit too before we start riveting stuff on. There. I got 2 catty-cornered. Here, here. Now if the other holes don't line up, that's fine. This will hold it on for our purposes, and we can always drill more holes. I don't like to drill with the skate on because it gets in the way of the drilling. I said I'm going to add new holes. That there is your fin escape bat.